Autumn arrived quietly, and the forest slowly began to change. Leaves danced gently in the cold wind, while a small, lonely house stood deep in the woods. Inside that little house lived a kind young bird named Dodo. But Dodo's mother had become very weak, and each day felt harder than the last. Dodo tried to stay strong, even when his heart was full of fear. Outside the window, the old tree slowly lost its leaves. And Dodo could not stop watching them fall. His mother looked toward the tree, with quiet sadness in her eyes. One by one, the branches became emptier. Only a few leaves remained now, holding on against the cold wind. That night, Dodo sat alone beside the window. And in the silence of the dark room, Dodo held his mother close. Not far away, an old painter bird worked quietly in his little hut. He noticed the sadness in Dodo's home and could not look away. By nightfall, the sky began to change. A terrible storm rolled through the forest. The wind grew fierce, and the last leaves trembled. Dodo watched helplessly as rain struck the window beside him. But his mother remained calm, as though she already understood. And then the old painter made a quiet decision. He stepped into the storm alone. The rain was cold, but he kept walking. At last, he reached the lonely tree. The final leaf shook violently in the storm. So the painter lifted his brush and began to paint. The rain poured harder, but he never stopped. Carefully, he painted every tiny detail. The storm fought against him, yet he held on. And finally, a bright green leaf appeared in the darkness. The old painter smiled softly before collapsing beneath the tree. Morning arrived gently, and the storm slowly faded away. And there it was, the last leaf still standing strong. Dodo opened his eyes and rushed toward the window. For the first time in many days, hope returned to his heart. And slowly, his mother began to feel stronger. Warm sunlight filled the little room once again. Filled with joy, Dodo ran outside. The leaf had survived the storm without even moving. But something about it felt different. Then Dodo noticed the paintbrush and the small bucket of green paint. And suddenly, he understood everything. His eyes turned toward the painter's hut. There sat the old painter, resting quietly by the window. Tears filled Dodo's eyes, not from sadness, but gratitude. Behind him, his mother slowly stepped outside. And beneath the tree, they held each other close. Above them, the glowing leaf danced softly in the sunlight. And slowly, life returned to the old tree once again. The old painter watched quietly, with a peaceful smile. Together, Dodo and his mother walked toward him.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Painter, for sharing your gift with us.
Thank you.
No words were needed. Their hearts already understood. And in that gentle moment, they shared a warm embrace. The storm was finally gone, and the forest felt alive again. The old tree stood proudly, full of life and color. And Dodo flew happily through the golden air. His mother watched with joy, strong and smiling once more. Beneath the tree, the painter finally rested peacefully. The forest glowed warmly, as if thanking him for his kindness. And together, they stood surrounded by hope. Because sometimes the smallest act of kindness can keep hope alive forever.